Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back. We'll see what goes on here. It says I have an excellent connection. I don't know what the hell was up. Of course, there's all kinds of problems. Windows 10, and they're insisting they're not, they're shutting down support. So updates for Windows. Am I even using Windows 10? What version am I using? Fuck, what year is this? Oh, Jesus. So hopefully we could hang on and communicate a little bit. What the hell is going on? Probably DDoS again. Probably shady government. Some hacker trying to get into my system. I don't know what they would take. Are we still on alive? I don't know what you want to consider it there in Berzia. What's going on, Cooper? Cool J. So Daniel's other kids said he was treating Jack and Lily in a poor manner. I'm going to try to keep my monetization for as long as possible tonight. Practice not saying certain words. Where'd you hear that, Cool J? You've got me. You hooked me in. Talk to me. Where did you get that from? Tell me. First I heard about it. If that's true, then it's a bit of a Thanksgiving blessing, isn't it? Oh, that's just fantastic, Izzy. It's good to see Tony. Well, you guys can go put yourself through that nonsense. I got playoff baseball. No, it's not a bad word. You can say it. I just can't say it because the algorithm picks up on it, Cool J. I don't mind so much that you're saying it. I don't mind at all. You can say whatever you want. It's just... So there's a rule on YouTube. It's like in a video or live like that. In the first 3 minutes, in the first 5 minutes, you've got to not cuss, which is difficult sometimes for a simpleton like myself in that sense. Sometimes you just... The F-bombs are going, you don't even realize. Or other words that's going to trigger a non-family environment for the first little bit. That's just the way they have the algorithm. Anita Benita, what's going on, girl? It's Thanksgiving in Canada. I hope everybody out there is doing okay. Is it Boxing Day? Yeah. The Boxing Day starts pretty soon. The sales. JC, what's up? So, Cool J, talk to me. Where did you hear this? So that's going to be a thing too. I wonder if in this circumstance, like Orin and Orson West, are they going to question Daniel's other children? You're feeling stuffed, Christine? Did you have turkey? Oh, I had some great stuffing today. It's always good when somebody else makes it, though, right? Usually it should be. Yeah, it's all right. Fantastic. I love all the leftovers. All of the leftovers. I mix them all together and throw some gravy in the frying pan and just make like you should almost make it like a filler and then make it kind of into a shepherd's pie type of thing and bake it in the oven. That would be fantastic. Maybe add some ground. No. Don't have to add anything. Just chop turkey. That's a good idea. I came up with that just now. It's probably not the first time. Or stuff bell peppers with them. Top them with some cheese. That's too trailer trash, though. Maybe it's too 1990s. Not right now, Charity. I'm busy. One moment, please. Let me check on this connectivity. What is it saying to me? It says excellent connection right now in the back. The OK button's on. I can turn around. Just one moment. I can turn around at any moment, though. So let me know if my audio's okay. Hey, Lindy. Let me know if my audio's okay. You can hear me okay. Or if I start getting choppy. Oh, my apologies. But my collection's growing, so I've been sitting around there. People have been going through some pretty interesting texts or messages that get out from conversations with Daniel Martell, saying some fairly interesting, revealing things as usual. He's all in. He's all in on this bullshit. Oh, Daniel, I got to encourage you, man. I've got to encourage you to come and open up and express to the RCMP exactly what happened. It's your only course of action to save your psyche at this point in time, because you're simply destroying yourself. It is a shit show in that sense, and I hate to generalize it like that, but Daniel, you're going to have to give the RCMP an actual story at some point in time. And that time, that window of time has really expired. They're doing this the hard way, and you guys are dead set on getting away with this. You're making the wrong decision. Think about how they go about investigating any situation where everybody that they come across is unreliable. That's what's so close to the Orin and Orson West case. You know how people like to compare? I never used to like to compare cases because I felt in a way it took away from the victims to a degree. I thought it was just people doing too much. But in this case, I got to say, these two cases mirror one another. We've got two missing children, two situations where there are stepfathers in that regard. Lack of really a blood connection. There's a more clinical word for it, though. There's also the fact that Trezell and Jacqueline absolutely pulled the wildest lie on police to begin with. Okay? With no context, they pulled this nonsense with the public in the exact same manner. So when you think about from the perspective of an investigator or a detective, even a layman or a person who's not aware of the process, you're fooling. There's a lot of issues out there where people don't understand or want to say, well, if this was so, why wouldn't they just arrest them right there and then? Well, because that's how it's not done. It's never done like that. Okay? So attributing to it exposes yourself for not knowing enough about the topic, but yet you're speaking out. You know, not that it bothers me in that sense. I'm just putting that out there. Like, there's conversations, obviously. But when they have to gather all of the pieces to the puzzle to determine their next course of action, they sit back and they're not in a hurry. And they allow the pieces of the puzzle to fall in place over time. And Daniel, in this circumstance, is doing a really poor job at trying to convince authorities and therefore onto the public exactly why he's innocent, and everything is attributed to closing the case and deflecting scrutiny elsewhere. No, that's not going to change. It's not going to change. I appreciated Daniel Martell acknowledging that the paperwork is only 1% of the case in these recent texts that we were looking at. That's a truism, number one, so it stood out to me. This sea of bullshit. Well, that's factual, isn't it? But Daniel, I'm going to stop talking about Daniel as though he's an absolute idiot moron in that sense, because he's acting and he's playing the part and playing himself down as an excuse to try to convince others. Like, nobody's that fucking stupid, dude. You can't be up there typically trying to convince a group of people that something's other than what it actually is. There's so many other people out there, and most importantly, not just random people. That's not what's important. Okay, the RCMP and how they come to determine their next course of action in this circumstance. They built all kinds of rapport with Daniel. Listen to the guy. He's on the CBC, brainwashed into thinking something other than what actually is. He's not even actually acknowledging the situation, nor does he ever acknowledge the fate of Jack and Lily, talk about it. It's all about him and his association to whatever happened, which is just one of the poor signs in that sense. Like, that's not a good sign, but that ain't near the that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. But Daniel, it's so bad at this point in time. You're doing yourself a grave injustice. You're so concerned about self in the circumstance. Well, you're going to have to drop the substances, get sober, and fess up to what really happened that particular day. And beg for forgiveness. Being made to look like the liar that you're being right now is going to add so much time and look so bad in front of the court that it's going to be used against you as the primary reason or primary basis behind all of the circumstantial evidence that they're accumulating at this point against you. ENIC investigators build rapport with the individuals involved to elicit information from them, and he is so full of so much information. He's got notebooks full of it. But as frustrating as it is to a bunch of individuals that are out here in public watching it, we have to remind ourselves and each other, importantly, and don't let it divide us, okay? Let it be a sign that justice is on its way. Because that's what it is. The investigators are going to let all of the pieces to the puzzle fall together until they've got no other choice but to go forward in this direction, because that's where they've been. That's what all of this has been doing. Daniel wants you to believe that all of this is in the works to eliminate him as a suspect each and every way. He tries to bend it. Stop that, Daniel. None of this should even be a topic, by the way, if you were an innocent individual. It's another level of evil to watch you lie on the backs of these children every step of the way and contradict yourself. You've got the devil in you, Daniel. We know what the mathematics do to people and the scenarios that they create because of the influence of those substances, and so do you. You recognize it more so than anybody at this point in time. JC, Daniel wants to believe that he's holding back from following up in his own tips. Like, what the hell was that? Let me pull up that script. That conversation between the reporter and Daniel was something else. Does Daniel go to the CBC, do you think? Or does the CBC come to Daniel in the circumstance? It sounds like... do you think that Daniel called him and said, hey, let's do an update? Or is it just now that they're have built a rapport, they're on first name basis? And that happens as well. Like, another thing, I still am on this I'm still talking about it in relation to the Orin and Orson West case, because you remember Perla Shaheen and her influence in the situation. because Trezell and Jacqueline, well, she was the one that walked up to the door and got them to come out and speak to the media, so she right away established a relationship with them. And I think that the reporters know what's up in that sense, like the CBC reporters. And listen, it's so. Do you guys know what secondhand embarrassment is? You really get a lot of secondhand embarrassment when Daniel is up there with his helicopter hands, as Ninchi likes to call it. I think that's a fantastic term for it. He's got helicopter hands, and these hands are just flying all over the place as he's talking, and it's becoming worse and worse, as though he's like stroked out in his mind or something. No exaggeration. It's that bad. And Daniel, when it comes to, listen, why are you trying to convince the world about this polygraph, namely Patty? You went over to intimidate Patty and gaslight her like you did Cindy and Wade with your family in efforts to search down their property an hour away while all of the important stuff was going on at your house at point zero. Everybody recognized right away that you were suspicious. And you've never given them a true timeline. Daniel, listen, buddy, there's 24 hours in a day, every day. There always has been, and there always will be. You can sit down and build yourself a little clock on a piece of paper and fill in grave detail each and every hour from 12 to 12 midnight to 12 midnight to 12 p.m. the next day. And you can do that each and every day. That's what you should have done. Instead, you completely want to rely on an excuse as though that there was nothing worth remembering. Daniel, this is not going good for you. It's not going any better for you the more you get yourself in front of a camera. You've got time to get out of this. You need to start making the right decisions and stop pulling your family in with you. You've pulled Janie into this nonsense because of your drug abuse. This is how it gets. Look at what you've done to society. He likes to talk about how he's desensitized to judgment. No, quite the opposite if you're up there on the national news whining like a bitch about it. I don't have any fake accounts. Let me tell you, in this circumstance, there's normally a lot more trolls. Like, of course, there's Daniel. There's people who want to just troll and they don't know anything about it and they just want to piss the creator off, so they'll just take an opposing viewpoint in that sense. But there's in this particular case, there's always one that stands out, okay? And it's going to be Daniel under a fake account underneath, because there's real disdain in it. There's like sheer mocking, like something that stands out from all the regular types of trolls that you would encounter, right, over time. Yeah. Somebody has a real passion to see it a certain way. Who doesn't out there have the motive? It's like everybody wants the markets to go up. The whole intention is to make money. We all have a like mind in that sense, or in this case, we all want to find Jack and Lily, but we're presented with nothing but lies and deceit in every deception indicator with it along the way. Well, this ass clown wants to portray something that, a grade 6 could figure out. Listen, that's not how they investigate. One, you've never been cleared by police, but yet you're over at Patty Pearson's, Daniel, telling everybody that you just passed a polygraph. What is this, the Maury Povich show, stupid? Okay? You're totally not understanding the reasons why you sat in those interview rooms, why you sat on that polygraph test, while all the behavioral science group sat behind those windows and watched your body language, not to mention recorded it every step of the way. And holy shit, do I want to see all 14 hours of that. For all of the police homicide detective interrogations over the years that I've watched, I've never thirsted over one more than I thirsted over this one. And it'll be available at some point in time. Somewhere, somehow, in the deep abyss of the RCMP and the nameless establishment, there's got to be some fantastic investigators that are passionate about busting this son of a bitch. The first thing that you're going to be is well trained in removing any sort of emotion that you have in the case in the moment. Like Daniel wanted to tell me how unbiased or how biased I was against Daniel, and that's just the reason why. No, we've got to reason everybody to be biased against Daniel. You've got a reason to be biased against any parent or person that was put in a position of protection over innocent children. This guy has, think about all of that this son of a bitch is doing. Not only did something happen to Jack and Lily, but the way that you went about it, all in effort, and it's all in vain. None of your language speaks that you're a caring individual, which screams sociopath. The fact that you were nervous and out and admitting it to everybody would be, well, that would be the one thing that would kick a lie detector off. But they've got to put you through the process to establish that baseline to have something to reference to later on. But that's not the reason they have you in there hooked up to those wires. It's more important that they hear the statements that come out of your mouth, just like we love to delve through up here in different channels in that sense. And not to mention all of your body language, your fidgeting, your helicopter hands. And that's just one spoke in that wheel. It's not an easy button. It's not a rig to see if you're telling the truth. It's not a tool to tell everybody that you're fucking innocent, because you're not in anything in here. So why are you working so hard to convince so many that that's the case? Why not say anything at all? You ever tried that? You ever tried not saying anything? Took them 14 months to accumulate evidence, to do all of the interviews. For the Bakersfield Police Department and a little bit of the California City Patrol to slap the cuffs on Jacqueline and Trezell. And for that time, they knew where they were the entire time, trying to survive the predictable. They got no money. They can't go anywhere. When you're presented with a bunch of shit, you have to go about it in a different route. Daniel wants to misinterpret in front of a group of people every single time so that your understanding is so misconstrued that you're more likely going to start sympathizing towards him because he's trying to humanize himself. Well, there's a double-edged sword there. Because he forgot to take into consideration the correction factor for the psychological damage that substances have been doing to you for the last few years. See, that's the reason that you can't control yourself, Daniel. You know that. Lily Seigan, the RCMP, did say that this case is going to take longer than we all wanted. Absolutely, it always is, because you never can put an estimate on this, like especially when kids are involved. You know that they're going to have to interview Daniel's kids, that they're going to have to go to do about it at the right time. So it's going to, and they're not going to update us. So I hate going through this cycle of being outraged with a bunch of people over the fact that we're not being updated properly, when you need to understand that they're not going to be sharing any pertinent information with all of us or labeling it's something else so that they can change terms in the corporate media. That's nonsense shit. Let's break out of the matrix, folks. Listen, they need to do their jobs. So far, we can gauge what kinds of jobs they're doing and gather intel over the normal police work that we can see. Although it's badly misinterpreted through Daniel. But I did like that dog named Narc and his handler, which, by the way, is the cream of the crop. These are the top of the top. Daniel wants to fucking gaslight him, telling him, what the hell? You don't know anything about this case, pig. Think about it. This dude is one of the top individuals in a high-profile job, specialized RCMP. You don't get there because you dropped out of fucking high school, Daniel. And he gaslights him, telling him that he doesn't know anything about the case, essentially. The dude got briefed before he went in. He has access to all of the information. He's been confounded by the investigators themselves and really told what to do and set this entire little planned confrontation up just to get you on body camera, boy, so that he could pull that back and enjoy their fucking coffees and donuts and have a good laugh. You want to fucking play games? The RCMP knows how to play games too. And they've got unlimited resources. They got the money printers. Salty. AB, how do you interpret Daniel when he says he and the RCMP have inside jokes and acting like they're best buddies? I'd say that the RCMP, if he does believe that, and it's not just a load of shit for the camera, if he actually believes that, then they're doing a hell of a good job building rapport with the main suspect. It's a rapport building thing. You want to elicit as much information out of this shitbag as possible. And he's got like diarrhea mouth. He can't stop. Did they shenanigans? That's interesting. A-Balance shenanigans is saying here, hold on. Apparently they interviewed his children already and they said he abused Jack and Lily. That's not good, Daniel. Fuck boy. This is going to go down exactly like the Orin and Orson West case, which you guys can go over to my community page and read that breakdown as to how long it took them to investigate each and everything that they brought up in trial, defense, pro and con. The scenario is almost identical. And identical in the level of bullshit, which is so rare. It's rare to see something so identical. And the reason for this is you can gauge on why they're doing, or it's very difficult when you're in the moment and in time in this Jack and Lily situation. Expect over a year, potentially. Hopefully a little sooner if we can talk Daniel into just fucking straight turning himself in. Got to work on him like Tokyo Rose. It works though. So that's why I'm not going to, instead of disparaging Daniel, I'm going to start speaking to him as though I already know that he's fucking lying, and here's what the good side of Daniel needs to do now. He's not getting away with this level of lying. He's lying out of desperation. He's lying because he has to. Hey, Nick, the RCMP ripped that sardine can apart 3 times. Isn't that right, Janie? Listen, it's just such a shit show when they want to attribute all of the RCMP's actions to their innocence. Like, you've got zero concern over Jack and Lily and their fate. And boy, does it shine through that 1% you like to refer to it as, Daniel, in that paperwork. Dude, nowhere in there, you can... You're better off not even reading the paperwork out there, people. Don't even read it, because there's nothing in there, really. Because all you're going to come across is you're going to get confused. Not that you shouldn't read it. You're going to get confused and come out further after it with no information. You're still not going to be clear as to what happened after when they got home. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Should almost say it more like Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday into Friday. and specifically the hours between, I'll even go 8:30, boy. Daniel, you hear me? I'm taking it down to 8:30, boy, and midnight. Neither Daniel or Malaya want to be accountable, or it's not clear in that paperwork from either of them, because as soon as you see the inconsistency, well, where is the truth and all that? And that doesn't benefit you guys, Daniel. Okay, the fact that you're presenting it as such speaks against you and will be built against you in that court of law. And that itself is circumstantial evidence. And you can't change that. You can't go back on that. You already fucked this up, boy. You've had 5 months now to straighten all that out. You have to assume that that's not coming. But Daniel's saying, listen, there's 24 hours in a day, Daniel, and you want to tell us that there's nothing worth remembering, so therefore you're not sharing? And that's what you told the RCMP. So here's this guy, Daniel. He just got set up again, elevating himself to having more knowledge about the situation than he should. And the only possible way that you would is if you were indeed responsible for or withholding guilty knowledge in this circumstance, which quite possibly could be a double child murder. Is that what we're looking at, Daniel? Or was it an accident? You didn't want this to happen, but you couldn't control yourself in that state of mind. You're focused on soft ground. We got to probe into that a little further. Probe, that's a new term I picked up from this investigation. Probe, we can throw out a few probes like we're Jean-Luc Picard. I don't know what you're talking about, Lori Green. They'll be ready to proceed whenever they're ready to proceed. 6 months. 6 months is nothing. But it's going to come. I suspect it's going to come in the middle of the night for Daniel. A little karma, return of karma for what you did to Cody and Belinda. Calling them in the middle of the night and having them go over and check to see if your fucking kids are there. Kids just walked out themselves. Just decided to up and wander right out. You don't think that story is suspect on its own? Every part of this is nonsense. The children didn't voluntarily walk out themselves on May 2nd. No way. Not in a sub-zero day when everything's all wet and shitty out there. Wonder what sort of attachment Daniel felt the kids had towards him. He mentions that in the paperwork. What does that mean? I couldn't even imagine having to explain that to a cop. Oh. Well, what do you... No, my point is, Lori, what do you expect to be getting? You're not going to be getting any updates on any forensics at any point in time other than the trial. So I don't know what exactly you're waiting for, what you expect to hear at any point in time. You just like to play that fancy word or what? You like to say forensics? Well, you don't even know anything about the case yet. We know enough to be suspicious and know that Daniel's lying. That's for them to figure out. They're the ones that were there. They can pick it up, and they don't have to share, nor should they share the information with us at this point in time. Now, there comes a limit for that, of course. I expect to be fully in the loop by the time this thing gets to court in that sense. Sure, you can hold something back, but I can't wait till Daniel gets up on the stand. Do you think he would? I don't know. I don't think so. You should write those lyrics down, JC. It would be a great love song, or like a, what would you call that? A sentimental ballad. When you love someone and you're grieving, you hang on to every last word, last moments. Is that Whitney Houston? Great lyrics. JC, you're a new lyricist, brother. Pulling on my heartstrings up here on the mic. Can't even sing this without crying. Guitar, or country ballad. I want to fly down to that trial when it happens. It's going to be happening. It's going to be happening for sure. And guess what? At trial, they'll pull out their surprise witness, Malaya Brooks Murray. Oh! All this will happen behind the scenes. We won't know anything about it. The reason she's staying silent has a lot more to do, and really can work against Daniel in the long run. Although we can detect, or we suspect some sort of attempt at further controlling behavior in that sense, we'll call it. But in the scope of the case, we're just getting kind of sidestepped and distracted and too emotional. Hey, blessings to all. Sadly, we see these cases always take time, right? Takes you extra long to gather info. Daniel thinks that's working for him. That's destroying him. He's hoping that you wrap this thing up soon. Could you imagine saying that in front of a camera? Holy shit. Has anyone looked into divorce custody files for Janie and Earl? Daniel and the mother of his older children, Dagwoods? I don't know, Marianne Foster. Where are you going with that? Has anyone looked into divorce custody files? For what reason? What do you got up your sleeve there, Mary? I can see Daniel on the stand trying to defend his innocence like the... Oh, fuck. That's the last thing you want him to do on the stand. He said so much shit, he's going to have to distance himself from it. Oh, I can't do anything for all you stupid people. You got stupid people. Remember what Janie said? God, I should almost pull that up. Hold on. What did Janie say? Let me pull this up. I'm out of here. I'm out of this group. All of you stupid people who don't believe me. Oh, shit. Don't ever let it get to that point. You're gonna have to take a plea deal in that sense, Daniel, to avoid going to court altogether, because it's going to destroy you. And imagine all of this probably to avoid going to prison as a protected, what would he be called in that sense? But people frown upon individuals who hurt children in that sense. You'll be a target. Oh boy, that is not a fucking nice scenario. That's sobering. Almost worth lying for, isn't it? No, but seriously, Daniel, as much fun as it is to bust apart all of your bullshit lies, we have to wind this back in a little bit. What is it exactly he's attempting to do? He's 100% in the game to try to, well, he tells us he wants to get all of this scrutiny and suspicion off him. Look, you should have opted for saying absolutely nothing in this circumstance. You should have lawyered up. That's just one thing. Imagine the hundreds of things that we can compile. Red flags, indicators of deception. It's ridiculous. Oh, well, maybe this time it means that he's not lying. This time. Not. Oh, shit, Daniel. You pulled your mother, Janie, into this. To the point where she's going to have to serve time. Like there's going to be a whole set of conspiracy charges here. Now how deep it'll go, maybe they'll drop a couple for you. Maybe they'll do you a solid. You're going to have to position yourself. What did you do with the kids? What did you do with the bodies, dude? You want to find Jack and Lily so bad, why don't you ever talk about it? That's a problem. Because there's too much else to fabricate and deflect from. That's your priority, and it shows. There's a reason. There's something driving that. But now you fear that you've gone too far and there's no going back. You've passed the point of no return, haven't you? A lawyer makes him look guilty, in his opinion, Cooper? Oh, shit, that's too late now. Too late, brother. Those helicopter hands aren't fucking selling anything. And really, that's the psychological attempt. He's really dumbing himself down. No, these are probably. What did Mike bring up? He brought up that the probably having more to do with Duper's delight, like that uncontrollable excitement that drives your smile, like the elation. You just can't help it. Kind of like when there's a huge green candle and you just fucking made 100x gains. It's like, oh, I can't help but smile. Same thing kind of happens after a while when you separated yourself when you're speaking. Think about actors or acting or wrestling or kayfabe. But when you can watch yourself as the third person and you're just reciting a script and none of it's even true and you're recognizing it, there's certain features and things that happen to people that they're susceptible to, and Duper's delight is one of them. So Mike was describing it as a form of Duper's delight, possibly, but it's he's going outwards in an attempt to try to convince us of whatever it is that he's trying to tell you at the moment in time, which doesn't seem very climactic in that sense, but really it just goes along the line with the need and the desperation to have you believe him in that sense. And all of these stuttering and stops and starts and leakage that he brings isn't helping. It's anything but natural. Like I sit up here impromptu, Daniel. I stutter in that, but it has to do with recalling and memory and trying to think about something entertaining or avoid saying something to piss off the algorithm. But it's otherwise natural. I'm speaking to you in a way that would be different than my friends because I'm biased, of course, at this point in time. I've grown to be biased. But that only matters when you're seeking out information and you're subscribing to the theory of confirmation bias in that sense. Like I'm some sort of fucking idiot robot that can't discern the difference. No. So get out of my comment section thinking that I'm biased in that sense. And that's what's bringing all this heat against you, Daniel. It's your statements that take us here. Good to see you, Queez. Guys don't have Thanksgiving in the UK, but you should, so happy Thanksgiving from Canada. Where's Anita Bonita? There she is. Daniel, what'd you say? Jen R., that's very generous of you. Thank you very much, by the way, honey. It's very generous. Anita Bonita says, Daniel will be like, no one has fought harder for justice for Lily and Jack than I have. And all you have to ask him is how. You can do that in front of a jury of 12. You're the one that you're going to have to convince them. You're getting your practice in on us. What, just so that you won't look stupid? It doesn't matter how you look, brother. Your answers aren't cutting the mustard. Listen, you're not going to be able to bullshit your way out of this. At some point, Daniel, the RCMP going to confront you, and it's going to come down to you having to fill in the blanks because they're not accepting it, although you think that they are for whatever reason. Listen, as it stands, you guys have no alibi for Wednesday and Thursday, especially Thursday between the hours of 9 and midnight. And you've got a lot working against you, like the neighbor and his eyewitness account who was interviewed and didn't even know what was going on, in that sense. That information is rock solid, brother. That's rock solid eyewitness, and that is going to be when this is said and done, or wrapping up, and I can post it on my community wall, and we can break down how long it took them to investigate and accumulate against the case against Daniel. We'll reconvene in that sense, but that it will happen. It's not worth people out there at this point in time worrying ourselves. We know that it's going to take some time. In the meantime, we need to have some fun and pressure Daniel Martell to do the right thing. And that's tell us where Jack and Lily are. His attitude is going to dip lower than the market did the other day. That smile is going to melt. Listen, Daniel, you know you can't trust cops. And you're going to find out why in just a little bit. You want to come across to everybody as just a caring individual, this hero in this circumstance. That's why you're even being interviewed in the first place, Daniel. Why is that again? Because everybody in Jack and Lily's life knew that you cared about the kids so much. Everybody in your life says that you buy, make, sell a certain substance, and you dislike Jack and Lily, and you were beating on Malaya. That's not our fault. That's what people in your life said about you. And that's why Malaya left. You had helicopter hands on the CBC, and you probably took those helicopter hands and you slapped them all over Malaya and the kids. We see that your hands are uncontrollable. They're uncontrollable on the CBC. Therefore, they were probably uncontrollable when you were under the influence and she was telling you that she was going to leave it and she was working on that last nerve of yours. You need to lay out for investigators what it is that happened, where the bodies are, and walk yourself out of this, and they'll treat you accordingly based off of the circumstances. You do it the hard way, and it's a death sentence. Although we don't have corporal punishment here in Canada, but believe me, people on the inside will take care of it for you. And you know that that's not going to be a very pleasant existence. Not going to be chuckling with any hombres in cell block 4, kicking it with your homies, watching TV and playing Xbox. You're going to be in protective custody with a bunch of other sex offenders and people who bring harm towards children. And at every opportunity, you're going to be physically attacked, stabbed, hacked, threatened, spit on. And that's going to work away and destroy your psyche, in a sense. Next thing you know, trying to hang yourself in a cell. Because you're not going to be able to hack it. AB, or Mr. Hemi, good to see you. Osprey, good to see you too. 2 Canadians, happy Thanksgiving, guys. And you know what, says Osprey, she will continue to have children, live off assistance due to her disability. Who are you talking about? And laugh and live life sadly. Well, this is how our government enables people not to help them, in your opinion. I don't know what you mean, Osprey. Who are you talking about, Malaya? Well, let's worry about one thing at a time. Don't like to pretend we know more about an individual. First of all, priority for these people need to be dropping the substances and forcing themselves and willing themselves through it, because you're not going to be fooling anybody, especially when you're under the influence. He's on the run in his mind, in that sense, Daniel is. And he'll constantly be on the run. And just like his helicopter hands and all of the other indicators that he's giving off, they're uncontrollable. There's more to him that's uncontrollable. Well, first of all, Daniel, you're a slave. You're a slave to those substances that you keep ingesting. So you're right open for manipulation yourself. You've just taken the reins and thought, well, why don't I do a little bit of the manipulating, since that I'm in this position of informing everybody? I may as well make it work in my favor. That's what's working in your favor, is the fact that you're grabbing the mic and gaslighting. No different than you gaslighted Patty by telling her, like, you just got home from Maury Povich and passed the polygraph exam. You're not the father of those children. That's not how it works, sunshine. You're misrepresenting it And the fact that you're running around claiming that you've been cleared when you so obviously haven't, it's easily disproven. So you walking around is just a huge flashlight of guilt. Hey everybody, I'm not a suspect on the CBC. I'm not a suspect. I don't even have fake accounts. I'm not a suspect, everybody. Innocent people don't have the need to do that. And by the way, if you were indeed innocent, the RCMP and any police force from LA to New York would have no problem getting in front of a mic and saying, we do not believe the parents had anything to do, and we'd like to personally clear them of any wrongdoing to avoid any sort of scrutiny from the public or unwanted attention that comes along with situations like this. They're well aware of it, bro. Have they done that? No, actually, they've been rather more transparent than anything in this paperwork, especially with your call to 911, where you lied to them. Told them that your kids were possibly autistic. Now, explain that one to a jury of 12, what possibly autistic is. You might be there for a while. Good luck with that one. How are you going to explain that? And then the contradiction about them being known to wander, and then going completely 180 degrees afterwards when they further question you about it, saying, oh, they would never wander anywhere. You're trying to direct the narrative. You don't think fucking cops have been here before? Shit. You need 5 years on the force just to wipe that shit-eating grin off your face and start taking the job seriously before you're even into the places that are dealing with you, Daniel. And they have little yes men and junior detectives that do all their dirty work, that build the report for them so that they can kick back and analyze you like we do here in front of a studio audience. And people online, they must enjoy it too, because there's some great statement analysis and behavioral analysis out there who are well-intentioned that would be fairly entertaining for a detective to watch, no doubt. And Mike DeMann and Ninchi are both on that list. I have a lot of respect for both of them. Janie's reaction to I lost that comment. Salty. Where did I see you? Okay, can we get out of my? Okay, out of my kitchen. Thank you. Janie's reaction to his latest ex-girlfriend confirms to me she will always take his side and overlook any red flags. Well, good luck to you. Just another distraction for you. It's probably a cop, dude. It's probably a fucking cop setting you up. I saw a picture of her over with that chick with the black eye, talking about how Daniel likes rough sex and all this. What a distraction. I'm like, who fucking cares? Who cares about this nonsense? The fact that you've got this semi-attractive girl interested in you. When I looked at it, I'm like, fuck, that's a romance scam, bro. You're getting catfished, number one. And by catfish, I'm sure that she's going to be a cop setting you up. Probably wearing a wire in her vagine. Probably got a smaller one. Fuck. What a fool. And you just can't say no to the sugar, can you? Fuck, Daniel. Good luck with that, bro. You're going to start taking romantic partners at this point in time. It's a perfect opportunity for Daniel. He's easily manipulated, and he's a slave to substances. We know how people in that circumstance, especially his type, react. Fuck, the cops are well aware, probably doing it. It's almost a dead ringer, because the dude wears the same fucking clothes every day. He's up there in the same striped shirt, black pants, 14 karat gold necklace with messy hair and an unshaved beard, no fucking money, no job, on the hook for double child homicide, and addicted to substances. Outlook is bleak, and all of a sudden this foxy chick who loves rough sex comes your way. Well, first of all, you may as well see how far you can get. I don't blame you for that. But dude, don't get too attached, because it's probably a cop. Absolutely, brother. Shake out of your stupor, dummy. Well, you think she likes you because of your personality? Oh, Queez, I can sit here and talk about this just impromptu all day. I have to do something different because I ingest so much of other people's content. To a degree. But I'm glad other channels are speaking the way that they are in that sense. Like, there's a real issue here. There's a real problem. But don't think that the RCMP don't know about it. You know, the public are always... They're always there, aren't they? But I guess, you know, it's really about trying to calm everybody down and take a moment and breathe for a second. There's no possible way that the RCMP can be this stupid. It's just us assuming that they are reactionary to every wrong thing that they see. Fuck, we don't want to live in a world like that. But it's unfortunately the way that these investigations go. When I say unfortunately, it'd be nice if they could wrap it up by the end of the weekend before the Jays game starts so we could get on with life, wouldn't it? I think that's how fast Daniel wants things to close up. But here, there's a real reason to be suspicious. That's why I don't want to fall into that trap. I don't want to start disparaging Daniel and talking about it's becoming rhetorical and get out of my cupboard before I lose it. Out of my kitchen. Raiders of the Lost Ark in my kitchen right now. Hold on. I got to go fill her up with some snacks for a second. Just a second. We just had... You should have seen how much food she ate today. I got so much turkey, potatoes, and stuffing. Like, how could you possibly be hungry? So just one moment. I apologize. Cheese and rice. It's all good. I stuffed her full with an orange. Actually, got 4 pounds of oranges on sale for $3. Can you believe that? $2.99. Better eat those quick. They might be rotten. I was surprised. They're probably growing on like Bill Gates' farm and filled with like some sort of weird chemical that turns frogs gay. Oh man, Jenna, I'm so full of turkey too. Yeah, Norbeaster, always hungry. Yeah, we have a problem with quantity. Like my daughter before dinner sat there and ate most of the just assortment of fresh chopped vegetables like radishes, onions, carrots, baby carrots, and cucumbers. We're in there, and celery. We're in there too. She sitting down, just pigging out on it. No, and I'm like. Obviously, we have a problem. Does she have a tapeworm? I don't think so. She just doesn't know when to stop in that sense. And holy shit, I put a lot on her plate. I cut like the whole thigh. Like this is a turkey thigh, right? This is a turkey, no chicken. This turkey's thigh and leg. Like that is so much turkey. Not just that, all of the skin on it as well. She took that down in one gulp. Holy mackerel. I should learn how to work her. She's got enough calories in her. I should be able to plow a field. Tony, did I see my text? The ex-girlfriend is in the hospital. Who are you talking about, Tony? Who's ex-girlfriend? I gotta refresh my chat, excuse me. I'm way behind chat. Sorry, I had to refresh it. Did I see my text? Am I making you hungry, Queez? Actually, I'm kind of excited over the leftovers. I like so there's potatoes and stuffing and gravy and that for leftovers. Oh, fuck yeah. The only thing is I don't have any mayo right now. Gotta go get some mayo. You're gonna make pumpkin pie this week? Oh my god. I do like Thanksgiving. Fall. What do you guys think Janie and Daniel are eating tonight? You think that they're celebrating Thanksgiving in that trailer together? Why don't you come over and stay? Just come over and stay the night. Daniel's the one with the black eye, Tony? You fucking telling me this shit. You can see a lot more than that, potentially. Eggs with vinegar. What the hell's going on? You want eggs with vinegar? What do you do that? Salty burger. Or salty suspects. Eggs and vinegar. You can whip that up quick. Eggs and vinegar. Why would you mix vinegar in there with the eggs? Like, I know pickling eggs in vinegar. Or do you put vinegar in with the yolk and put it back in and make deviled eggs? Is that what you're talking about? Deviled eggs? Is that what vinegar... Is that what you do to the yolk? Is just add vinegar? I didn't know that. Hard-boiled eggs is excellent in vinegar. Yeah, you probably go one step further and make it a little bit more healthy for your digestive system and try it with apple cider vinegar. Because it accelerates and it helps the digestive process. It's that fermentation process that you stick in down there. That's how I understood it anyway. Keep reminding myself to get some. AB, his ex-girlfriend with the black eye. When you keep saying ex-girlfriend, Daniel's ex-girlfriend? Like, who's his ex-girlfriend? So he doesn't have a girlfriend right now? The girlfriend right now he has is actually the ex you're talking about? There's no vinegar in deviled eggs. Thanks, Jonah. Yeah, I'd be thinking there because they have... Usually when I have them, there's a bit of a twist to the deviled eggs. I don't know the secret yet. My aunts make them. I always eat them. But they whip it up. So I'm not sure exactly how they do it. Probably different ways you can do it, too. They're having Fluffy's dog food. Nick, that's funny. Well, hopefully they're having an okay Thanksgiving. You think they're celebrating? They're probably all fucked up in a bottle of baby duck and a line of the mathematics. Zwing! Or maybe he's just like hooked on smoking it. Like, it's even more addicting when you smoke it in that sense. Then you go through phases, right? When you're hooked on this stuff. I wonder if he slams it. I wonder if he's utilizing AV or IV. That's the next step, brother. Why wouldn't you? Be so hard you can take that needle and shove it right in your carotid artery and inject it through there. That's what the hardest of the addicts do. I wonder if Daniel's that hardcore. Oh, okay, Tony. That's the one in the photo. So there's probably a bit of a story that I don't quite understand yet. That's okay. You guys can tell me. So that chick in the photo is his ex-girlfriend. Okay, thank you. I'm up to speed, Tony. It's hard to believe why she left you. Fucking guy. Fucking guy. Oh, what is the... Justin and all them are talking about knowing Daniel's drug dealer's phone number. You guys hear them say that shit? Does anybody out there know who his dealer's name is and their number? You send it to me too. I want to call this guy. I want to know all the skinny about Daniel. Is he spilling tea on Daniel? That's hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. Fuck. Oh boy. What are we in for? That's so funny. All these dudes have Daniel's drug dealer's number. That's great advertising. Just in case we're ever in the area. We're having a fucking party. You can call you after midnight? Perfect. Place our order. We'll meet in Garlock Road. I'll take an ounce of the 98. I will when I reach the $1 million mark on my exchange. We'll go out for a coke and slut night. Everybody else, I'll be sober. I'll be the DD. You guys can all do coke and sluts on me. The RCMP was at Ron's, Wolfie. When was this? Ron. Oh, woo! I wonder how she's doing. What's Logan been up to lately? Is she still talking in these groups, I wonder? Hey, Darlene. Darlene, are there women who start dating prisoners? Oh, yeah, love after lockup. Don't you know, Lori Lynn? Fuck, is that some funny shit? You want to talk some true emotional manipulation? Absolutely. It all goes on there. People need to be with somebody, and they want to somehow just control it enough because they think if they can control it enough that they can make that emotional, personal connection. And it's always a fucking trap, guys. Listen, just let it happen. Don't force it. It's always a trap. You're being catfish. You're being pulled into a scam. Even if the person's real. Just how the world is. We want to brainwash ourselves into making this love thing real and just magical in that sense. There ain't no magic to it. It's a lot of work, all right? And you better have some money if you want to impress her. In the summertime, when the summer... How does that go? Just like the song says. She's not Logan McKenzie anymore. Not as Logan McKenzie anymore. She's changed her name. Yeah, love after. Actually... Watch those stupid. Sometimes I get into these icebergs with the creators on here on YouTube that make their reaction videos after all of the shit that comes from A&E and TLC and these stupid series. I get into those. Fuck. I'm a sucker for romance too. Probably having cranberry sauce. All the fixings over there. Probably went to the Tim Hortons drive-thru. You guys go to the Tim Hortons drive-thru tonight? Do something quick for the old lady. Put that on a bun. Put it on the table. Talk about how great life is. I wonder what Janie nags at Daniel about when nobody's around. Man, I'd love to work. I'd love to work surveillance. Just sit there and eavesdrop in on your fucking conversations with your mom. Oh boy, how exciting. The fucking draw straws to get this job. It'd be cool if it was a laser listener. Daniel, you know what a laser listener is? You can literally, you can wire this up yourself just with stuff you get off Amazon. But listen, Daniel, They've got a balloon up there with those cameras on it, and they can bounce that laser listener off any part of your metal trailer or your window. There's actually two. And they measure the vibrations, because even as your voice speaks, even in a whisper, it sends out waves that vibrate even the window in the room. And that vibration can transmit over an electromagnetic wave, a laser. And all you have to do is just hook up a pair of headphones and listen into your words. It's hilarious. It's so simple. I wish they taught us that in class way back when I went to high school. You can probably Google and get a free schematic on how to wire one up yourself. Maybe you can do some counter surveillance, Dan. You'll see what the fucking cops are talking about. Yeah, you can sit out there in your mom's ATV and just point that laser at the window. Bottom corner or top corner works the best. You like to rip things apart for the batteries, the lithium. You're like a little lithium miner, aren't you? Janie's going to be like Donna Adelson when she's in court. Oh, I don't even know that case. I would laugh with you, Anita Benita. I should pay attention more to that case. You want to follow him around at a distance to see what he's up to? Probably a whole lot of nothing right now. Whatever it is, he's not taking his phone with him. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about picking it up. Time to torture Fatty Silver. Realize London is 33% short on their silver. Yes. What do you mean London? The exchange in London? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Well, it's still closed. The Asian markets will just be getting rocking right now. You want to be put on the RCMP payroll and follow him around? You want to be deputized is what you're talking about. Second mission. I'd like to stake up in a ghillie suit outside in his bush and just fucking make weird noises all night to spook him out. Trip him out when he's all under the influence. Ileana. Does Afghanistan all the lithium mines? I always hear about all of the ones in Russia. I should have been born there. Oh, Daniel, you should have been born there. Let's not. You probably go fucking sign up with the Taliban right now. It's a good time. Nothing wrong with that. Make some money for yourself. Too many rules, though. Fuck, you wouldn't even need a laser listener. It's so quiet around his house. Out there on Garlock Road, you could just park down the road, turn your engine off. Just tell the cops that you're out there listening to the coyotes howl. And just listen. Get your Whisper 2000 out. Remember the Whisper 2000? Hold the Whisper 2000 out and just turn it up to 6 or 7 and just sit there and listen to all the shit that comes out of his house. Like, sound carries around there. It's quiet. What did you do to the kids, Daniel? You think they're right? You think they're communicating via chalkboard, Ileana? They're just sending messages back and forward to each other in the trailer on a chalkboard like this was some sort of Hell's Angels clubhouse? Well, probably just gave them an idea. Imagine. What's for dinner? You gotta have a Whisper 2000 on high. it screeches your ear. Holy shit. Turn the squelch down. So this whole broken front door is a thing, isn't it? You forget about the why. Why is it broken in the first place? Why can you not close it anymore? Why do you have to use a nut or something to rig it shut? This little helicopter hands probably got a little excited, and the fucking hands went and hit everything. His helicopter hands, the quick rabbit punches to the door when he was throwing a temper tantrum. Malaya was probably going to leave. She was saying something to her mother on the phone, and Daniel was just on the other side of the door listening in. Fucking bursts in and said, "Yeah, it's enough. Hang up the fucking phone!" This is like a Streetcar Named Desire. Daniel's yelling at Malaya. It's time to clean the trailer. It's time to do your chores. Cook me a bologna sandwich with mustard. And hurry up. When did they found any holes in the punched in the wall? Behind the pictures, you mean? Behind the picture frame? Fuck, you wouldn't want to punch a hole in that wall. You go right through the side of the trailer. It's so dilapidated. I wonder what's up with his fascination with fences. He's got this fixation on getting the hell away from the kids. Getting the hell away from people and just focusing and tweaking out on this fence. It's a snow fence on one side. I'm just going to put her up. Listen, that can't be more than 50 feet. You should be able to do that in an hour, bro. Like, get it up, get it done, and be done with it. How is it this constant thing that you're working on as though this project is taking, like, years and years to fix? Just put the goddamn fence up and be done with it. Everything's straight. Grab yourself a level. Draw a line. Dig a couple holes. Probably didn't even do it properly. Probably didn't dig down far enough past the frost line. Probably didn't even mix the concrete. None of that. Probably just tweaked out and said, "Oh, fuck it. That's far enough." C. Taylor says, that whole wrench thing, why would they admit putting a wrench over a door that could literally take a small human out if they if banged or, it fell on them, essentially, you're saying, C. Taylor? All I smell is a bullshit story. When the frame like of a trailer like that is made with aluminum, it doesn't take much. Like, especially when things start falling apart and it's an older trailer, you get rough with the door in there. Like, it's not like a heavy hardwood door with locks. Like, when you get rough with it, and everything has a certain cycle and its usage cycle. And that's far past its point. But to further exacerbate the damage to it, all of a sudden things don't fucking close properly. You don't fix it. And every time you start closing it, it starts twisting and melding and bending. It's metal, so you've got to straighten it out and flatten things back out again. It's a pain in the butt a little bit, especially if you let things go. So eventually he's probably just fucking slammed it. He's probably ripped it apart in a fit of rage, is what I'm suspecting, in one of their fights. And he's just patched it back together, and it's going to be one of these little projects that he never quite gets to around the house because he's too busy getting high. So it's just how things got to look like what they look like when you look at that place in pictures. From the first days of the search, for example. And then they turned around, they realized how ugly or how horrible it looked and cleaned up a little bit. So ridiculous. Nothing to see here. Oh, look, you got these skids stood up and you've drilled like a hook on it and hung some plants from the grocery store on it. Look at how homely it is. Oh, I was about to put in a pool for the kids right here. Yeah. This is where I was raking. That's my answer. This was going to be a pool for the fucking kids I hate. Little sons of bitches. In other words, paraphrasing, of course. We'll just bet on fresh gravel. Nothing to see here. Fucking kids just disappeared from the place. The first thing that she's volunteering is that she was going to do something. Oh, I was going to put a pool in here, and that's why I was raking, officer. Right where you found that boot print. Right there in the freshly raked gravel. Do you know what that means? That those children hopped through here after last night when I was out here raking it up, covering up evidence from that 5-speed that left here 6 times in 5 hours. If you see the driveway, it's built up from all of the soft gravel that they pulled down from the banks. And when you look at it, it looks like they have a mound of dirt on the driveway, but it's not. It's just the elevation difference from the grade that they're trying to raise. They're raising grade, but they're not doing it properly because you have to tamper it down. And you have to take topsoil out of there first. So they probably got that tweaker Durwood over there throwing a leg over Janie in the back of the RV while Daniel's off getting high, working on the fence, the eternal fence. You're fired. Fuck, we didn't make any money on that job. Dude's taking too long. Notice that the fence never got fucking done. Anybody, like, it's still not done, okay? You're talking about it being worked on way back when the kids went missing. It takes you a day to put up that fence, bro. A day. It's just something you do in your spare time when you're, what else do you fucking do? You don't do anything, dude. You should be out there fixing up the place, grab you a can of paint, spend $20, go get some return paint from Canadian Tire, and throw that on your trailer. Too busy getting fucking high, bro. Yeah, Osprey Wade said rats. So it probably has more to do with the conditions that they have outside their home that attract them in that circumstance. Who knows if that's real or not? If it is, fuck me. But, like, I hate rats. Like, when I see a rat, I go into a different mode. I've got to grab my gun. I've got certain pieces hidden all around here because the odd time I've got a bird feeder, I'll see one out in the garden, and I'm like, fuck, there's a fucking rat shitting my pants. I live in the city, though, right? So, I mean, they're a lot more common, especially when they do construction. But believe me, they're around everybody. You just don't notice them. They're nocturnal, the fuckers. Coming up and eating on my cucumbers. But I can't sleep until I've killed it. I can't sleep until that son of a bitch is gone. I can't have them around me there. I'm wide awake. Something in my DNA. I'm like a little Jack Russell. You ever seen those little ratting dogs that go after them? The YouTube videos? They got them all over YouTube. They're hilarious. I can't watch those fucking things because I hate watching rats so much. They tie a GoPro onto the mouths of these little ratting dogs in the UK, and they go to a farm. Farmers called them in. They take them to the manure pile and start lifting things up, and they start going after the rats, and you watch how vicious these dogs are. Kill them right away in one shake of the head. Yeah, they are good ratters, those terriers. Yeah, Lori Green. I'm like, I got a whole new respect for those fucking dogs now, by the way. I used to think that they're little footballs. Like, those little son of a bitches do a lot of good. Especially with rats. I never realized why they were bred in the first place. Now I know. But some guys have like 7 or 8, or a bunch of guys get together and take their dogs out to one farm. So you see all of these dogs go out after all of these rats, and it's just actually it's kind of entertaining. You got to go see it and search for it on YouTube to check it out. You'll get your fill, but it's like it's just funny to see a GoPro strapped on a dog. Number one, you get a dog's eye view of something. It's kind of bizarre, but it's fantastic. It's actually just go and check it out. You'll thank me afterwards. You don't have to though. It's an experience, all right. Yeah, Lindy. Yeah, there's some good hunting cats out there, no doubt. I knew this cat named Dave once. This fucking guy's bringing back seagulls. It's like, these are good. The guy is good hunters. Cats are good hunters in that sense. Different. Dogs aren't as covert as cats are. Cats like to sneak up and pounce and stalk their prey and then play with it. Fuck, these terriers just go up and grab them. They don't give a shit. You come at them, these rats jump and they bite. They're vicious AF. These dogs don't even flinch. Just grab them and just shake them. Break their necks. Holy crust. I can't even take it. It's like, holy Jesus, but yet I can't tear myself away. Yeah, Silver, you're right. Minks and aren't chinchillas like that too? Like mink really go after rats as well. They do the same thing and train them. I never knew that, but I saw some minks. There's a dude on YouTube who has a very successful channel that he does that with his minks. Now I remember you. You know, excuse me. You know, if Janie didn't have that god-awful fence up around her RV, maybe the dog could take out the rats around that house because he looks like he's got a bit of terrier in him. You got to climatize him a little bit. Got to train him. Daniel's so good with kids, you think he would be good with dogs as well. Covert 72 AB mods and chat. Hello, welcome in, my friends. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Janie, you mean Janie attacks them with... Janie probably does, Anita. She grabs that rake and she goes into action. She's out lifting things, swatting. All you got to do is... She's got chickens. She's probably well aware of it. Like, those rats are coming in because of all their chicken shit. It's a nice warm place to burrow in, especially in the winter. So all the rats will come out from the forest, even more now because they'll be eating all of the feed and the nutrients and the protein that's dropping through. That's going on because they're messy eaters. Birds are messy eaters, right? So they spray everything all over the place. So that shit pile underneath is going to be and attract rats. I'll tell you, I have my experience around that. My buddy's got a dairy farm, and he has chickens in his dairy farm, and he's got them up, and it's this old farm that's built like in 1840s. It's these old little rooms, and they've converted one of the rooms into this little hen house where they keep chickens in cages and lay their eggs, and all the shit drops through them, and we've got to go up there by hand and clear out all the chicken shit. By the time we're up there and cleaning it out, I remember I wanted to go up. I was excited to help him. I'm like, what are all those holes doing? You got animals burrowing in the poop. He goes, yeah, those are just the rats. Here, I'll show you. They're probably in there right now. And we're taking pitchforks, and he just launches pitchforks in these holes and skewer these rats and pull them out. I fucking lost it. I was so traumatized. The noises, the squeaking, it was just a massacre. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me, bro. I don't want a rat fucking running over my shoe. I wasn't about that. I was up there with my good sandals on, my good clothes. I thought it was going to be more clean. I thought they had a stable cleaner. I didn't know we were going to do this by hand. Fuck, the guy traumatized me. I wasn't expecting that. Fun and adventures in the farm. You don't like chicken poop, Silver? But you love KFC? I hate KFC. That's the worst. They got some problems going on financially, don't they, Silver? I really try hard not to eat fast food. I haven't had KFC in forever, and if I ever did, I like it after it's cold and in the fridge a day, because I hate grease. But you can't avoid it, right, with KFC. But somehow it's good. Well, it's addicting AF. But it's good cold. I like it cold and in my fridge. Then you pick away at it like in the middle of the night. You're laying there. It's like, you know what? Probably slip down right now and take like 4 bites out of it just to tide me over till the morning. Give me some sweet dreams. Oh, yeah. Fucking midnight snack. Let's go. Jenny probably cooks... Oh, come on, Anita Benita. Think Janie's that bad? She is just a creature. Well, but think about what she is. She's an individual in the circumstance that's inconvenienced. Her generosity essentially was taken advantage of. I wouldn't expect these people are before all of this happened, or at some point in time, you would think that they were probably normal individuals that cared for each other, that wanted to, feed their kids and make a living and get ahead, do things in life, participate. You're seeing the effects of the damage that substance abuse does to families here, to the extreme. And you're seeing the same level of manipulation of the public that many and every family has experienced that has had a loved one or a person they know fall to these illicit substances. And we can see it. The effects are all there. Fuck, he admits to it. And yet still people say that drugs don't have anything to do with it in the circumstances. It's just something that people are making up. Like, listen, come on. Everybody's already admitted to it. They normalize it and they minimized it already, which is pretty typical. It's not about arguing everything that comes out of their mouth, right? So much has come out of Daniel's mouth. It's just time to take it over in that sense. You're not going to get anywhere. He's hoping that you get sucked in and hang off every word. We don't need to do that. Why the fuck is this guy, this stranger, standing in front of the camera trying to update us on a couple of missing kids that just disappeared from the residence that he's currently staying at? Well, that seems odd, doesn't it, to anybody else? And why exactly are you a part of this investigation to begin with, Daniel? You're not related to the kids. You're not the father. And their mother's no longer in your life in this circumstance. Isn't it time that you exit stage left and just get on with things? But you've got yourself past the point of no return. You've put yourself out there and initially lied to the world. Now you've got to maintain those same initial lies that you've brought to us initially. And that's extremely difficult. Yet, strangely satisfying to watch. Dude. You don't need to dig yourself any deeper, Daniel. Clam up. Why do you have the need to go and express and explain yourself to a bunch of people who are asking you questions that have nothing to do with where Jack and Lily are at any one point in time? It's part of the risk that you take when you try to capture the narrative. You've been caught with your pants down. Why exactly are you in front of the camera again? Oh, that's right. You need to be perceived as a hero. But is that the only reason? No. That's just the bare minimum. Even if you think that's better than you knowing the truth as to why he's up there. Know what I mean? So it's a risk from his perspective worth taking. We all know what we're looking at here. The question is, where are Jack and Lily? And how did Jack and Lily go missing? The biggest problem they have working for them at this point in time is the fact that they've got no alibi to even corroborate. Thursday, which is simply 12 hours before they called the RCMP. Still, to this day, 6 months later, they can't account for simple 12 hours before they just called. The night before, you called at 10. 11 hours, Daniel. 11 hours. There's 11 hours previous to when the kids went missing. You are completely blank and you don't think that there is anything worth remembering. You see the problem that Daniel's facing, and he's got nothing. He hasn't sat down and itemized minute for minute what he was doing. One, it would be too much work. That's really what you should be able to do. You should be able to come up with the timeline, but you opted to tell the cops and everybody else watching you that there was nothing. It was just a normal day. And nothing life-changing happened. human brain doesn't work like that, he wants to claim. But it's better that you believe he's that fucking stupid. Daniel hasn't stopped avoiding since the initial call, since Malaya got off the phone or got on the phone. He hasn't stopped avoiding. Best friends with the RCMP. Fuck, that's got to be an experience right now. Oh, let me talk to Daniel next. Let me talk to him next. Oh, could you imagine pretending and acting to Daniel like you're his best buddy just to see what the hell he has to say calling in next? Oh, hey, Daniel, you want to go bowling on Wednesday, bro? Yeah, well, think about what it is that he's trying to explain off in this moment. That all of a sudden he's like a junior investigator and he's a key in really helping the RCMP with all kinds of leads at every single way. He's saying this on the CBC. Aren't you voluntarily engaged in some sort of personal relationship, essentially, with the RCMP? What difference is that than engaging in a sting? The RCMP know why they're there. You know why you're there. But you both can't agree on it, if you know what I mean. The cops, like they don't have to engage in these Mr. Big operations when they've got Daniel calling them up on the phone and wanting to engage and thinking that they're on a personal one-on-one level because of the rapport, the false rapport that Daniel's trying to build, and just the nature of the beast when it comes to the RCMP or any federal crime agency or investigative homicide team. And it's a surefire when you analyze it because of how he's portraying it. He's opting out by misrepresenting what's actually going on in real time as a valid alternative to having to acknowledge is really the elephant in the room, which is the fate of Jack and Lily. So, Anita Bonita, this is the thing. Assuming, and we're assuming, never assume, but based off of what Wade Paris says, and the acknowledgement that there's conflict between the families, even in the paperwork and Malaya's statements, it's fairly safe to say that what Wade had to say was more factual than not, especially when it comes to the physicality of the relationship, the need and desire to get out over the period of time, the substance abuse, and the minimizing and normalizing. What do you think happened in the relationship? Probably kept her around for so long because they both are engaged in normalizing and minimizing in order to just make themselves feel better about the piece of shit parents that they are to these kids. And they know that even when they're high on the substances, but they can't stop. They're a slave to it. You got to be stronger than that, Daniel. You've got to be strong. If you were strong, you would be able to will yourself and just drop the shit. Yeah, you're talking about, Salty, you're talking about Malaya's letter that she wrote. It was disingenuous and it wasn't her own words and therefore irrelevant. Congratulations, honey. Absolutely irrelevant to the task at hand. It doesn't represent you, your words, or anything else. Therefore, it's not even worth considering. Can't even break it down into statement analysis because it was AI generated and it was just something you probably did in 10 minutes. It was stupid, garbage, and it didn't acknowledge the problems. And it's just a way for her to manipulate a greater audience, throw something out there, because you throw anything out there at any one time, you're going to be able to build a community of people that support that stupid fucking idea, and you can soak them out of money. Well, there'll be a GoFundMe up with that. There'll be people wanting to pass the link just to have some time. Kiss my ass. People grow a fucking set. What people can do, put on the channel whatever they want. You know? I don't like to be negative. It puts me in a bad mood. Doesn't mean I have to like what's going on, though. So what's interesting to me so far, I'm going to have to do some follow-up after I get the hell off here. So there's probably some things I missed and need to go catch up on. Somebody will be talking about it. So you're telling me that Daniel's kids have been... Listen, there's something that makes me question that right now. One, why do we know that? Like, how is it we know the key thing or something that would be so important in the court of law or building a case against Daniel? Why is it that we know what the children said when that would be the whole point of keeping it silent, especially when you're doing questioning and in the accumulation stage? It's very rare to know what the kids actually said. So is that coming from Daniel? And he's trying to take something like that and use it against the police by making it and exposing it, I wonder? And he was talking to the kids and they said something to him. I don't know. If it came from Daniel, you've got to question it. But I don't know where exactly else it would have came from. Like, how is it we would know that? Because it wasn't by way of the RCMP. So, if that's just people talking out there that talk on the town because he's trying to plant a seed, I don't pick up on it. I actually don't even probably believe it. I don't believe it. I think it's just probably a way for Daniel to control the narrative, by acknowledging what people are out there already recognizing, just in his own way. I don't need any more witnesses telling me that Daniel's a fucking addict or he's abusive and he beats on Malaya. I've got all them I need. Wade and Cindy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you're putting that in my chat, bro. There's dudes in my chat right now. Daniel and the crew were in debt, giving the children to another family for cash to pay their debt off to Janie. No, that's spreading a false narrative. Is that you, Durwood? Do I have any... You want to time that guy out for like 25 minutes or so? That's a penalty over here, bro. You got to read the rule book. I'll give you 30 minutes. Bro, get the fuck out of here. I'm fucking pushing Durwood's narrative. Anything to take people away from the reality and the most important things to talk about. Anytime that you get close, anytime that you get close to a sensitivity area on Daniel, you get stupid fucking comments talking and trying to misdirect the conversation. Not even falling for it. And it's not about being biased. It's not about anything. It's about not wanting to spread disinformation from a fucking double homicide suspect. And by the way, Daniel, there's no chance that you could be innocent in any of this. Zero. It's just a matter of the RCMP and figuring out exactly how. And that time will be sooner than later. Time flies in that sense. Like, no brainer. No brainer. Oh, yeah. Just fucking great friends with the RCMP. Oh my God. Man, look at all I'm doing for the kids out here by speaking up in the public for them, exposing myself every step up here chopping away with my helicopter hands. Don't you get the point by now? How many more times do I need to fidget, spin, and bite my lips, crease my forehead, look up at the interviewer, squint my eyes, say the dumbest fucking thing possible with no contextual basis? I'm sure that's going to fucking go over well for the RCMP. Oh, thanks. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Fuck, we believe you, Daniel. God darn. You're such a truthful hero, bro. Should give you a fucking Medal of Honor in this situation. Anything to distract from the fact that you're such a fucking idiot. 2 kids completely vanished from your house. All right? You ever think about that, ass clown? And you're so concerned over what a bunch of strangers have to say to you about it that you have to pretend and lie to the people closest to you that you've been somehow exonerated from any wrongdoing in this case because you've misunderstood. You didn't get the cuffs slapped on you while you were in that chair. The RCMP are still figuring out what the hell is going on with you, boy. Why are you acting so damn funny? They're having so much fun doing that they're having a hard time keeping up with the amount of indicators. They've got to pause the goddamn video. Do you know what? Do you know how long it's going to take to solve this case? I'm going to put a time frame on it, and I'm going to match it right now with 14 months. Maybe sooner, maybe later. And I'm going to base it on everything that we've known about the Orson and Orin West case. Because I'm going to have to assume that the investigators are going to do the exact same things that they had to do in the process that they came down and collected evidence against Trezell and Jacqueline. So I'm going to say 14 months, and they should have handcuffs on them. Today's October 12th, 2025. We'll continue to monitor that scenario. Well, fancy Daniel being in a situation where there's absolutely no smoking gun evidence around of anything. Just an old woman and a rake. Nothing to see here. Fuck, you guys don't even feel bad. There's no remorse over the fact that there's 2 kids that used to live on that property that are gone now. And Daniel wants you to think that he's having such a hard time with it because all of his family are gone now. I guess in a way you could say that. How exactly did they go, Daniel? Let me tell you, I'm pretty sure it wasn't an accident. Not in the court's eyes. Not in the law's eyes. L-A-W, law. The only way and the only reason to be this deceptive and this desperate is if it would have been the worst sort of culpability, the worst level of responsibility. Which is probably completely achievable from a person already normalizing and minimizing violence around the household up to that point. Whether it be subtle, but it still escalates because you've become accustomed to just raising your heads and the kids do what you want. You just walk by and open up your hand. But this time you went a bit too far. This guy's got helicopter hands. I got no doubt that something physical happened to at least one of the children. Probably 2. And that's where the evil lies in all of that, because he couldn't control himself. Probably liked the feeling of murder, of killing, the power that came with it. And he went in for a second dip. Because that's just how Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the psyche is when it's induced in a psychosis. And he's so escalated into like this sexual being All of that time that you spent ingesting those substances and everything that it affected, you could have been bonding with all of the kids, securing your future and theirs. You could have been building a healthy environment. You could have been eating food. You could have been taking walks and enjoying life with the kids as a family. That way, when you're old, they can still treat you nice, and hopefully, if you treat them extra nice and give them an education, they might make some money. And we all like money, don't we? This report from Wade, with you not liking the children and going hands-on, and the kids showing signs of PTSD from males, and specifically males who raise their hands above their waist as though they're anticipating being hit. Used to be a really common trait that came from kids from every orphanage in the United States and Canada. Corporal punishment. The cops know all that as well. Yeah, it's not just Lindy being about emotionally unstable. Daniel just got himself into a place where he thinks that he can get away with that on the backs of somebody he's supposed to love, somebody he has in the house, that he's promising all these certain things, how life is just going to be fantastic. Well, you downsized, motherfucker, by moving into your mom's trailer, and she's got to be out in the yard, coming down on you, adding further stress to your life. Imagine the tangled webs of lies Daniel already had going on in his life. That just comes along with the substance abuse. These are things that are facts of this case, Daniel. Why? Because you're a slave to those substances. And you're no different than every other addict everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with being an addict or recovering or getting over it. But the issue here is the effects of it are always predictable. Each and every time. And now you know the evil. And the evil became you. That's what's on your conscience. That's what's destroying you, Daniel. You need to walk this back and make it right. Now's the time to shut up. Now's the time to go into the RCMP office and tell them where Jack and Lily are. And then sit there and explain to them how it got to this point. That would be contributing something to this scenario at this point in time. And then you're going to have to take and own this situation, which is something that I know you're not willing to do, but you're going to be forced to. You're not in control of that anymore. All right, dudes. I'm going to watch the Jays game. I'll be back to see you guys Monday morning. I thank you guys for sitting here listening to me bullshit and talk. I hope that you've been entertained for a little bit. Make sure you go over and engage over at Mike Demands, everywhere else, who's spreading the good word. We'll pick up the conversation tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.